What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got a big-time update on the New York Jets potentially extending star wide receiver Garrett Wilson. And I think it's great news because it's sounding like a deal could be coming this offseason where the Jets could extend the former Ohio State wide receiver. But before we dive into it, I want to get you guys an updated look at our Race to 100 subscribers battle with Patriots today. They have a 5-subscriber lead. We picked up 77 subs off yesterday's video, so I appreciate everybody who went down there and hit that subscribe button. But if you haven't already, help us close this gap. And we have the early video today, so we have a chance to beat this just off today's video. So go down there, hit that subscribe button, and help us beat Patriots today in a race to 100 subs. All right, so it was the Athletic beat reporter for the New York Jets, Zack Rosenblatt, who had this to say yesterday in a recent article talking about Garrett Wilson, saying, "My understanding is that he wants to re-up with the Jets. I think in his mind that would go a very long way toward him being a lot happier or being happier to be a Jet. He's probably happier that Rodgers is gone now. I don't know if it would have necessarily been a I'm gone if you bring him back, as people have speculated. If I had to estimate based on conversations, I think he'd probably be looking for something in the range of $30 million per year, and I have no idea what Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn think of him. They know he's very talented." And, this has been my take always when it comes to extending, truly blue chip players. And I fully believe Garrett Wilson is a blue chip player. I think he is a high-end wide receiver one. I mean, we have seen all the spectacular catches this guy has made over the last couple of years. I think he, maybe he's not on the level of wide receiver one as a Justin Jefferson, as a Jamar Chase, but he is right there in that second tier with the CeeDee Lambs, A.J. Browns, and, the Devontae Adams types of tier of wide receiver. So if you have a blue chip player, I say you pay him early, even though the Jets don't need to pay him heading into the season. But with the market and the cap space just constantly going up in the NFL, pay these wide receivers early, because if you take a look at the highest paid wide receivers right now, Jefferson just got his deal done last offseason at $35 million per year. And apparently Jamar Chase is already asking for $40+ million. So I think the Jets, let's just say Garrett Wilson has a monster season this upcoming year, and he maybe goes for 1,600 yards. I could see him wanting Jefferson-level money at $35 million per year. So that's why I'm in the camp. You got to extend this guy early, pay these blue-chip players that you have on this roster, and plus the last part of that Zack was talking about, just keeping Garrett Wilson happy. The Jets are probably going to win around 7 to 10 games if it's a very good year next season, most likely around that 6 to 8 range, and paying a star wide receiver like Garrett Wilson before the season starts would just keep him happier during the season if the Jets year is a complete disaster. Instead of him going into the season without a new contract, I could see definitely some turmoil starting to build up with Garrett Wilson inside that locker room. And, what he's been able to do over the last 3 seasons with some shaky quarterback play is truly, truly special. Going over 1,000 yards in each of his first 3 seasons in the National Football League. And in 2022, I mean, it's not like he had good quarterback play by any mean. Let me just double check this real quick, because he's had guys like Zach Wilson, obviously, Joe Flacco in a year. He had Trevor Siemian. But yeah, in 2022 it was Zach Wilson for 9 games, Mike White for 4, Joe Flacco for 4. And then in 2023, it was 11 games with Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle. And then obviously last year, all 17 with Aaron Rodgers. And also, I do believe Garrett Wilson will be the best friend for whoever the next Jets franchise quarterback is. Like, let's just say they do trade up for Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Garrett Wilson will be his best friend. Even if you go sign a free agent like a Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, obviously, they're college teammates, that will be, or he would be his best friend. And let's just say you don't draft a quarterback, you don't pick one up in free agency, whoever you take in the 2026 draft, Garrett Wilson will be his go-to guy. So what could a contract look like for Garrett Wilson? I'm just going to go off that $30 million per year contract that Zack Rosenblatt was throwing out there. So I'm guessing it would be a 4-year deal, $120 million total, an average annual salary of $30 million, and then the guaranteed money would probably be around $90 million. So you would have an out after the 3rd year of this contract. Maybe Garrett Wilson wants it fully guaranteed, but normally NFL contracts, it's very rare you get a fully guaranteed $30+ million deal done for a non-quarterback. It's just extremely rare. But I'll ask you guys this: what say you? Would you pay Garrett Wilson $30 million per year? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down below in the comment section. I think I'm doing it. I would sign him up to that contract extension ASAP. So what would you guys do with Garrett Wilson? Would you pay him $30+ million per year? Y for yes, N for no. All right, so I do want to close today's show out talking about how can the Jets find that second weapon next to Garrett Wilson? Because I think – and even just listen to Aaron Glenn, Darren Mougey talk at the scouting combine, it pretty much seems like a Devontae Adams release is coming in the near future. And it will open up a lot more extra money for the Jets to spend in free agency since they are saving $28.8 million if they release him pre-June 1, would have a dead cap hit of $8.3 million. But the way Mougey is talking, I am assuming that this cut for Devontae Adams or this release will get done over the next couple of weeks for sure before free agency. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that information there. But where could you find that other weapon? We're going to start off with the NFL draft, and we're going to go through some tight ends here that I'm a big fan of. You know, we've talked about Tyler Warren countless amount of times here on the show, and I think he's truly a top 5 tight end already in the world. I think he'll step in, be a true number 1 at that position. He's physical. He just wants to run dudes over if it's a smaller secondary member. And plus, the thing I love about Warren is just the physicality he plays with. Like, I think he could add an identity to an offense where it's like kind of like the same way George Kittle had that impact on the Niners offense where they were a physical bunch. So Warren, I would be all in on him being the pick at number 7. But Darren Mougey did throw out there that the Jets could potentially trade back from the 7th overall pick. And that's where a guy like COlston Loveland could come into play. Because let's just say a team drafted maybe in that 12 to 20 range, wants to trade up to pick number 7, and maybe COlston Loveland could be the tight end pick in the first round. The Jets have already met with this guy at the scouting combine. Now, where he is different from Warren, I think he's more of a polished route runner. Is he as physical and as dominant out there on the football field? Not necessarily, but Loveland is a great route runner. He's got great hands. He can really run every route you would want from the tight end position. And, you know, just with how deep this class is, I mean, COlston Loveland could have been tight end 1 pretty much any other given year, but he's just in a class with a true blue chipper like a guy like Tyler Warren, but also a sneaky guy here from Frisco, Texas, Elijah Arroyo, the Miami tight end. This guy's a stud, man. He is a freak athlete. He is a great route runner and just separator. Now, yes, he does have some work to do in just a run block part of the game being a tight end in the NFL. But again, this could be a guy, maybe the Jets trade way far back to like maybe picks 25 to 32, or they could take this guy in the second round. I would be thrilled on that. And honestly, if the Jets want to go like receiver or something at pick 7, maybe they love Tet McMillan, then you get this guy in the second round. I mean, you would have a plethora of young, hyper athletic pass catchers, and I think it would be a great move for New York. But also a receiver you could draft potentially in the second round, Xavion Williams. This guy's a stud, man. He's 6'5", 225 pounds, very physical receiver. The production wasn't there this past year with TCU, but again, that offense wasn't as good as they would have hoped it was. But this guy is a very interesting prospect. Mel Kiper's got him 4th right now on his big board at the wide receiver position. But again, keep your eyes out on him. And maybe if the Jets go offensive lineman at pick number 7, or maybe they do go Tyler Warren, they want to double up on another pass catcher, watch out for Williams being the pick in the second round. But you could also look at free agency here. And a guy I would have some interest in would be Chris Godwin. Now, it would obviously come down to the deal. Like, I would probably want to give him a 1-2 year deal. But still, a veteran. He understands the position very well. I think he'd be a great mentor for young wide receivers in this room. And he would be a great, third and short, third and long guy where you just got to create separation in a tight window. That's what Chris Godwin is. Very physical runner with the football in his hands. Great yards after catch burst with him. So I would be in on it. But again, it comes down to the deal. And then another free agent target out there, Stephon Diggs. I'd be against this. Diggs, everywhere he's gone, there's been drama. And, him coming off a torn ACL, already getting older, I think around 31 years old. I think he just doesn't have a lot left in the tank. But in terms of a guy where he could be the second option next to Garrett Wilson, I wouldn't necessarily hate it. But, again, I would rather have the Jets get younger at that position. Now, listen, if the Jets were in a position where it was like, hey, we just need that one pass catcher to get us over the hump and go compete for a Super Bowl, then Stephon Diggs would be your guy. But that's not where the Jets are. I think they want to get younger. They want to have some guys that they can develop, and I just don't think Stephon Diggs kind of falls into that bucket. But maybe you guys disagree with me. Let me know what you would do. Would you sign Stephon Diggs this year in free agency? Give me an S for sign or give me a P for pass down below in the comment section. You guys let me know your thoughts. another friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button. Help us win this race to 100 subscribers versus Patriots today. But we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Go Jets.